What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to talk about Plasma XPL because this thing has literally been down 20% every single day. It says 20%, 20% in the last 7 days. It's always down. It keeps dumping. We're going to talk about what I see coming up next for this crypto and why I think it's crashing. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But let's get into it, guys, because look at this. 6.6% down in the last 24 hours, 23% down in the last 7 days, 33% in the last 14 days, 70% in the last 30 days. I know everything is down, but everything's not down that much. That's just that's kind of too much. Like when you look at a lot of these other projects, they're not necessarily down like as much as, something like that. Like last 30 days, Cardano is down 31%. But it's still up 71% in the last year. And when you look at Plasma is down 70% in the last 30 days. So that's actually crazy when you think about it. It's not just Cardano, like almost everything is at that same range, right? 37% down for Sui. Even if you wanted to look at a meme coin, for instance, like let's say we look at Dogecoin. If you look at that, I mean, it's only down 29% in the last 30 days, still up 16% in the last year. So for Plasma to be down 70% in the last 30 days, that's kind of crazy. I have a theory as to what it is, but I am curious to hear what everybody else thinks, because even though it's, down a lot, it's still trending. Like people still talk about Plasma a lot. It was just on the trending section not too long ago, but I guess it's no longer here. But still, people have been talking a lot about Plasma because, it's been dumping. So I just want to show you some of the things that people are saying before we talk technicals on this. So this person said, I don't see how this coin can continually put in negative 20% plus a day infinitely. Like that is actually crazy, amazing stuff. That is crazy that it's putting in lows like that every day. But it did just now reach a low area where it's supposed to be a really strong support, right? This is supposed to be a strong support because it's where we pulled back to initially when Trump did the whole thing that he did, like as usual, right? But this thing ended up dumping all the way down to 24 cents. So 24 cents is actually some strong support. And that's why you can see when we got really close to touching it, when we hit 25 cents, we immediately bounced back up. Now, this thing has been going down for so long, I'm not even going to try to predict where the bottom is going to be. Honestly, it doesn't matter at this point. I don't even want to try to predict it because most likely if you try to predict where it's going to be in a few days, you're going to be wrong. So what I'll say is this currently, it is at a 70% discount in the last 30 days. You got to think about it. A lot of people were buying this all the way up here at the top at the all-time high, $1.68. A lot of people were buying it around those prices, but now that it's at 27 cents, those people all of a sudden don't want to buy. They want to buy it high, and then when it dumps, they want to sell it, but they don't want to buy it low. So you'll buy high and you'll sell low with no problem, but you won't buy low and sell high. And this is something that happens in the crypto market and in trading all together, but mainly the crypto market. People love to buy high and sell low. So if you were to ask me, I would say this is around the range where you would want to be buying. Like you don't want to be buying up here. Like you want to be buying it while it's down. I'm not telling anyone to buy or anything like that because again, I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. But I still think personally for me, like this is a good buy area for me. I'm not buying any right now currently, but I think that this is probably going to be one of the good areas. Now there is a few other things that people are saying, maybe some fraud. So it doesn't matter what price you buy at. If there's some fraudulent activity behind the doors, then you definitely don't want to buy at all. But anyways, this person says, when you thought it couldn't go any lower, XPL gives us a dip after another one. Then he said there is a seller with an infinite amount of tokens on Binance. I wonder who is selling, but definitely not the ICO participants. So I guess they're accusing the ICO people of selling. I don't know. But to kind of look a little bit further into that, because like, you can say like, yeah, someone's stumping, but you also got to think like this thing. They did say something right over here. Like someone is selling an infinite amount of coins, infinite amount of coins. Look over here, max supply, infinite amount of coins can be created. Actually, I'm not saying they are creating because it's still at 10 billion, but also look at the circulating supply as opposed to the total supply. There's probably a lot of lots of coins, and there could be a possibility that some of the coins are becoming unlocked, and also the possibility of what this person is saying, the ICO participants selling as well. So it could be both things, right? It could be both. This person says, I wouldn't be surprised if it caught a decent move at this point. Everyone is grave dancing and is severely oversold. Facts. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, these are the areas you want to buy at. Look at that strong support right there that we're bouncing off of. Even if it were to go a little bit below it to like 20 cents or even 10 cents, that's not that far. Like, you only have to wait a little bit. Like, that's not that far of a drop. Let's say it dropped down to 10 cents from where it's at now. Actually, yeah. Wait, that is a pretty big drop. Actually, 60%. That is a pretty big drop. But the perspective I'm looking at it is a little bit different. I'm looking at it as it goes down and then it goes back up to 27, even though you bought at 27, and then you see all of this gains up here once it does finally go up. But obviously, we don't know if it'll go up that high. We don't know how the cycle is gonna treat us. If it goes up to the previous all-time high, that's 500% gains from where it's at now, as opposed to if it dropped down to like 10 cents somehow. If that happened though, 1500%, guys. Well, 1469. But who's counting? 1500% if XPL plasma goes down to 10 cents and then goes back to its all-time high. So there's a lot of gains that can be got from from buying at the very bottom, but it's hard to track the bottoms here. It's hard to track the bottoms. Anyways, over here you can see I have a falling wedge here that we built, but it broke down on the downside, and I always mention how a falling wedge has I think it's a 72.77% win rate or 77.72%, something like that. But it's something weird like that. But that's the win rate of a falling wedge to the upside, right? But when you come into a falling wedge from a downtrend, you're more likely to have the same results of a rising wedge. And a rising wedge is kind of similar, but it's a bearish pattern. The falling wedge is a bullish pattern, but you should come into a falling wedge from an uptrend so that you can continue that momentum when you consolidate within the wedge. But if you're coming into it from a downtrend, a lot of times what happens, like over here, it consolidates, but then it breaks down more when you're coming into the falling wedge from a downtrend. It almost acts as if it's a rising wedge. So that's just something that I've noticed here with that's just something that I've noticed here with the charts. So let me know what you guys think about that. Also, the %R trend exhaustion down here shows a reverse signal here. So whenever you see the bar with those blue up arrows, that's a signal that there's going to be a reversal here to the upside. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Both the white line here being the short-term trend and the blue line being the long-term trend are simultaneously going up at the same time. So that is good as well. But yeah. And then also we got some other people saying either we hold here or we go to 10 cents. And it's kind of funny. I did just now mention 10 cents, but I want to see some type of technical indicator showing like this is where it'll go. Like, because I just literally pulled that number out the blue. So it's not really an actual support. They're just kind of saying it as a psychological number. And that does happen sometimes. Psychological numbers become our supports sometimes. So there's a possibility, but I just don't know if I see this all the way at 10 cents right now. Especially if you look at what the market cap would be. It would be extremely low. But look at the fully diluted value here. So anything could really happen with this project at this point. But yeah, at 10 cents, that's $188 million in market cap. So let's see if that happens. But anyways, this person said don't overthink XPL. As you can see over here, they are showing something showing that it can go up and pump all the way up here, possibly by the end of November. But all of this is just speculation. All of it is speculation. But that gap right there, I would say if it does start pumping, then yes, the way he's talking about here, this gap right here could be filled. And what I mean by the gap, if you look at this, whenever you have a really huge dump like that, that's just so fast that it doesn't create a proper support. The last support was here. So that is going to be where the resistance is going to be, the next resistance. So hypothetically speaking, when plasma does pump, it's probably going to pump somewhere into this range around like 84 cents or something. So when it pumps there, that is going to be the zone where you really want to sell, because that's the gap right here. That's actually the gap right here. So what you want to look at is this whole green area here as a good area for you to look at as a sell area. So if this gap is filled, we go from 27 cents all the way up to 84 cents very quickly. That's 200% right there. So, if you just think about it, 200% in gains from 27%, I would say that's a pretty clean trade from 27 cents to 84 cents. That is a pretty clean trade inside of my book here. But yeah, that's 200%. So put in 10,000, walk out on the other end with a 30,000. So, let's see what happens here. Anyway, shout out to all of the people out there. Shout out to all the new members. Shout out to everybody. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And, just think about it. Just take a long, hard moment to think about it, about how we could, have a reversal possibly. But also look at Bitcoin. I do believe if Bitcoin breaks out of this bearish expanding triangle, if it breaks to the downside, then we could see some trouble. And it's actually right at that support down there. It actually bounced right off the support at 106K. It just bounced off that support, which is very, very, very important. We do not want to see this go below 106K. If we see that, we are in for some trouble. So we do not want to see that at all with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart is looking kind of funky. So, it's kind of hard to tell where Bitcoin is heading right now. But I'm going to keep you guys updated with all this. Remember, though, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Hit the like button and subscribe. Go ahead and become a member. It's only $9.99 per month. And I'll go over any stock or crypto that you want me to go over, as long as it's not some type of low cap scam coin. But anyway, shout out to the members out there. As always, I'll be back with another video.